So, the subject of parenting is a very complex subject and a topic for discussion. I found this to be very interesting as I am navigating it myself. Um, do I think parenting is instinctual? Not necessarily, but sometimes I think when it comes to the instinct, that might be more of the safety precautions and things of that nature. But as far as parenting and managing children and their emotions and their livelihood, I don't think that that is always instinctual. I think that is a learned behavior. For me personally, I have a lot of experience with young children, and so this transition to parenthood has been really smooth for me. However, my husband, who has not been around children, has sort of struggled with this transition because it is not coming naturally to him. He's asking a lot of questions and trying to learn during this time of transition. So, yes and no, it can be instinctual for some, but not necessarily for all. Parenting skills that I think are really important is stress management, being able to regulate emotions for the child as well as the adult in the situation is really, really important. A stressed out adult cannot help a child regulate in many circumstances. Behavior management. There are many, many options for behavior management. And if I could give any advice to parents at all, it would just be creating and implementing consistency with whichever route that you choose. Not only in behavior management, but in their daily routine, their expectations, things like that. Just consistency across the board is necessary for children to thrive. Additionally, relationship building and nurturing, this can take a lot of work for some people. Some people, it does not come naturally for them to love on their children and make time for their children and sit with them on their level and be intentional, but that is part of relationship building, and I think that that is key for parents. These are skills that they should have and learn. Where they can learn these skills, there's a lot of research articles out there on the internet. Parenting classes, I know several local resources for that in Tuscaloosa. But also just talking to their role models. If they have someone that they really like their approach to parenting, just being able to have a conversation with them and being able to ask questions about, like, how does this work for you? What would you do in this situation? Just simply having a conversation really goes a long way. A skill that I think parents lack when dealing with their children would be setting boundaries. I think that it's easy for parents to become overwhelmed with the many things that children require, the attention, and all the things that go with it. But it's very important, as I mentioned before, to be consistent. So when they're setting a boundary, it's important to be firm on the boundary and not allow the child to push past the boundary. I think this really, it can really alternate how parents parent, for one, and also how the children respect adults. And I just think having clear boundaries are really, really important. Things that impede the acquisition of parenting skills. Economic hardships are definitely factors. This could be financial stressors for parents. It could be them working long hours. It could also just be not having the support that they need. This could be, the lack of family and friends available to assist during hard times. But how can parents develop these skills? There are a lot of resources in education for these financial stressors or the hardships that they face. There's a lot of resources that can explain how they can do things to change their dynamic and things like that. Also, there are support groups for families that feel lost or lonely or just need a little bit more support. So those are definitely things that I would suggest to advance these skills.